Wagwan people, Wagwan tea sippers, Wagwan me generals. How are you all doing today? Oh, we are going to get into it. We have another podcast for you all, lovelies. Yes, we do, where we pull out cards occasionally and have a nice chit chat over tea, using Jamaican proverbs and using it as a message that we can help us to kind of guide us with our own intuition and our own self-love journey, because we're all about love and light here at Wagwan Tarot and Tea. Yes. So I hope you have a nice tea or a beverage, or a drink to keep you nice and hydrated. Maybe some snacks as well to keep you feeling sweet and irie round here. Yes, because we're gonna get into it. And I pulled out a proverb, and the proverb for today is "No set hungry duck fi watch corn." No set hungry duck fi watch corn. No set hungry duck fi watch corn. That simply means don't set a hungry duck the task to watch corn. Don't set hungry duck the task to watch corn. Don't set a hungry duck to what to the task to watch corn. And we can take this in many ways, like corn being your money, corn being maybe the opportunities that are in your life. So we're going to get into it. All right. So we're going to get into it. Wagwan tarot and tea. Tea sippers, wagwan tarot and tea. Tea sippers, wagwan tarot and tea. Welcome, welcome, welcome tea sipper. Yeah, it's the podcast, baby. Wagwan. All right, so let's get into it. So, Nasset, hungry dog, free watch corn. What's that all about? If we have a look at the back of the card, we've got temptation, trust, using your common sense, be careful of what you share to others. And that can come in many ways. Remember we said earlier, like your corn could represent money, maybe the opportunities going in your life. And we have the Three of Swords could also be a card that could reference to this. It can cause, let's say, heartache, pain, loss, loss of trust. The Seven of Cups. Maybe someone's got so many different options going on in their life. It can maybe cause jealousy, and maybe people, keeping a close eye on what you're doing, wanting to know what's going on in your life, really, so they can know what's going on in your life, but not really there because they want to support you and celebrate with you. Okay. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles. So this, again, the Pentacles is all about stability, building your coins, growth, looking back at things and maybe still feeling like you're not satisfied with what everything you have achieved. The Seven of Swords have put here as well, because the Seven of Swords is kind of like shady behavior going on. And again, if we reference this back to the proverb about the duck, the duck, for instance, is someone that maybe you cannot 100% trust because they may not have got or acquired the same things as you. And that can then put them in a position where morally they may, might think, yes, you're my friend. Yes, you are somebody that I have developed a trusting relationship with you. But at the same time, if there is some jealousy, if there is things going on where you are not privy to, that can then put you in a position where you have to be careful how much you share. If again, if you seem to be really doing really well in your life, and that other person doesn't seem to be going well, or seems to have things going well to the level that you are, that can then cause some issues there. And I also got the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords represents um, represents like backstabbing, conflict going on in this situation. So we're gonna, I'm just gonna have a quick sip of my tea. So I've got Red Bush tea today. What are you sipping on today? Let us know. Let us know wagwan. Let us know what you're sipping on. Okay, but I'm going to ultimately ask, what can we learn from this Jamaican proverb? What can we learn from this Jamaican proverb of don't set a hungry dog the task for your corn? Whoa, what did we say about money? Look, the King of Pentacles has come out here. So the King of Pentacles is here to remind us, look, we've got to use our common sense. We have to use our common sense. If you are building and you're working on yourself, okay, be mindful of that, and having that self-awareness that you are growing, that you are developing, whether it's financially, emotionally. You are building yourself to be a of a like to be of someone who of status, yeah, depending on which part of the world you're watching this from. Okay, so be mindful of that. And again, with the King of the Pentacles, it represents someone who's got themselves together financially. They are very good at bringing abundance of wealth to them, knowing how to bring opportunities their way, knowing how to be almost like an entrepreneur, a business owner. It can be also a CEO, even like, let's say, a manager, or someone who's just really good with money, really good at bringing money, bringing money towards them, really good at bringing opportunities around them. Maybe just like they've got their own place, they've got their own house, very good at maybe investing, just bringing lots of opportunities your way. But I feel like the King of Pentacles coming out, when we're just talking about how we have to be careful and be mindful, it's telling us that we have to be mindful that not everybody is a King of Pentacles, you know. People, maybe you might have a circle around you, not everybody has it. Not everybody, people might be really trying, and maybe it could be, you have done everything to remove those blockages from your life. When it comes to money, your mindset may be very different when it comes to money, about getting your corn, getting your bread. Yeah, sometimes people reference money as like cash money, bread, corn, and I think we'll take the example of the corn being your money, but being mindful of having that self-awareness. Don't be going out splashing money everywhere, or taking it upon yourself to like put things on social media about how you've got this, you've got that, you're going on a holiday, you're making it clear where you're going so that people can then and even if it's not even people in your circle, it could be you're exposing yourself, and all that exposure to the possible risk of people seeing what you have and thinking, oh, well, I don't have this, and maybe things are not great for me right now. And it can maybe expose yourself to like scammers. Like we did mention in the previous podcast, do watch it. Don't get scammed in these streets, because again, you know, there are scammers everywhere. Unfortunately, there are scammers. There's been many scammers when it comes to just in social media, trying to DM people, WhatsApp people, even message people on different types of social media, saying that how they can offer you a service using the likeness of somebody else. And it's again being mindful that unfortunately there are the haves and the have nots, and with the ones that have it, just to be mindful, and to be have that self-awareness that you have developed this. But even from you developing this took time, where some people might just look at what you have and just think, oh, how come you have this? But you worked on yourself. You built it. This is even whether it could be, let's say some people might have just have things given to them by through inheritance. But I feel with the collective, this is what I'm getting. It's more that you have been either been blessed with just taking that time to really focus on your mindset and work on your stuff, work on acquiring your wealth, whether, and again, wealth can come in different forms, okay? Whether that's you investing in your health, your body, looking after yourself, okay, your self-care, your self-love, your finances. So working on making it so you're not on your living off your overdrafts, or you're finding different ways of how you can supplement your income. You've taken that upon yourself because now you recognize that comes from here, the mind, the crown. You see the crown, that comes from here. And you taking that time to recognize, sorry, so again, if you're listening through the audio, we've got the King of Pentacles here, so it's in my hand right now and we're just talking about it. But essentially the King of Pentacles is a card where it's just surrounded of money. It's a figure who's just got all wealth around them while they're sitting on their throne. And with that, it just shows how much wealth they've acquired, okay, over time. And I feel like this card coming out is here to tell us to be mindful of our wealth and how we show that, or how we express that. And there's nothing wrong with being who you are, because that's who you are. But I feel like what it's saying is, with don't set a hungry duck the task to watch your corn, or to watch the corn. It's essentially we have to be mindful. Let's see what else comes out. What else needs to come out? Yes, we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the Wheel of Fortune is all upright is all about like opportunities coming your way. You know, the divine is working in your favor for great things. But for maybe some people where it's in reverse, it can also represent that maybe things aren't working in their favor, things haven't been working great for them, and instead of taking upon the decision to then look at how they can do it, it can then maybe result to them taking on an unhealthy, a low vibrational way of trying to acquire wealth. But again, there's a saying, the same way how you got it is the same way how you lost it, or you can lose it. So if it didn't come through a means of where it was genuine, you took the time to build it, grow, and develop it, make it yours. With it being the Wheel of Fortune being in reverse here, there's the risk that you could, this is not something, it's like they said, fast money, quick money. You might, yes, it may look like you get it quick. Again, with scammers and people who's trying to like abuse their power or use people's likeness for their own, but it puts that that person at risk of losing it all. Yeah. So, but I think it's also mindful that we also have to be mindful of how we go about doing things. So with the Hermit coming out now, and the Hermit is really about looking within, deep within. And I feel like this is also kind of like telling us, be mindful of, like, you know what, sometimes we have people around us, and again, it could be friends, it could be people in your circle, people that you work with, your colleagues. They might be seeing your growth. They might be seeing how you've got that promotion, you got that car, you got that house. You've got a massive surplus maybe of money coming to you. You come from inherited wealth, generational wealth. And I feel like it's telling, with the Hermit being here, it's telling us, sometimes we have to go within to be mindful that as much as we have got maybe so much things to celebrate, that the fellow man, the fellow woman may not always have that. They may not, or the fellow person, your fellow neighbor, may not have those same opportunities as you. Or if it's the vice versa, you may recognize that, hold on, you might feel a way when you're seeing other people that don't have those same opportunities, that have those opportunities and you don't. And sometimes it's sometimes when we do feel like that, sometimes it is a kind of chance of like maybe there's something that we need to work on. That if we're feeling like, well, we're trying to do everything that society's telling us to do, get a good job, go and get a house, get somewhere where you can live and where you're stable. Then the idea is that you settle down and then look and start your own family and things like that. And sometimes, unfortunately, it works for some and it doesn't work for everybody. Um, but it's being mindful that sometimes we have to also be just have that self-awareness and understanding that as much as everybody may strive to for that dream, if that is part of something that they want to do, of kind of acquiring their wealth in that kind of labored way where you're working, then you build that wealth, you acquire it, then you work on getting your house and all yourself, you're getting your mortgage and all those kind of different things that people might do, or try to buy their house outright if they can. Not everybody is in that situation, and right now there is also we've got like global pandemic. We have issues with um the like in terms of economically, the markets all over the place. Living costs have been impacting on people's lives. So I feel like the fact that this card came out specifically when I said, oh, let's get this podcast up and running for the collective, for the Wagwan Tarot Antique Collective. And I felt like it really came out to kind of just tell us we have to be mindful that, you know, um, there's nothing wrong with wearing nice things. There's nothing wrong with, you want to look like the bling bling. You want to have everything nice and shiny, like all the little little things that are glossing, all those kind of beauty things, because they all represent wealth, isn't it? Diamonds are a girl's best friend, right? But being mindful that things at the moment are like all over the place, and for some people they might be not telling you what's going on. They might be even struggling. Like with the hermit, I'm also seeing people who might be really struggling to keep the lights on, struggling to even keep themselves warm. And and they might really find it like hard to really come and talk and express or say what's going on. And if we're constantly in this position of being the King of Pentacles and really showing like what we've got going on, and almost to the point that we become a bit arrogant or ignorant, as the saying, as ignorant is bliss, to the point that we talk about all the great things that's happening in our lives, but forget to recognize, and again, if this might not be the collective, this could be also the vice versa. This could be other people that you're noticing who are doing that or showing that kind of behavior towards you. But it's recognizing that everyone has different things going on in their lives. Everyone has different issues. Some people have lots of ups and downs. We have different cycles. Yeah, one cycle you could like, oh, everything's going well for you, you're doing really well in lots of areas of your life, and then something could happen like a tower moment, and the tower represents that that transformation, like something just this sudden catastrophe that has just come from nowhere, and has kind of fragmented everything that you once knew as your life, and you're now having to adapt and change over what has happened. And sometimes this is what does happen for people. Sometimes people do have, they have things like, oh, like they were doing well, independent, didn't need to ask anybody for anything. And now they're in this position where could be like possible redundancy, living costs are going off the roof, that they may be struggling, finding it hard to make ends meet. Um, and I feel like it's really kind of telling us, to be mindful that not everybody, not some people might not be as well as we, just as we know that people might be very forthcoming when they've got everything going on for themselves, and to the point that they might brag to so much that it comes across now as there's a sense of lack emotionally. Because if, let's say, if externally everything looks okay, internally they may be going through lots of different emotions that they have struggled to deal with, struggle to express. But equally, if we have someone who maybe visibly they don't always appear like they've got everything going on, they may be kind of like financially struggling with lots of things. It's also like, reaching out and checking how they are, and seeing what ways you can help, you know, and being mindful of how, at times, again, there's nothing wrong with celebrating your wins. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, you should be celebrating your wins. But there's also sometimes it's like recognizing that, and I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune being here, like sometimes we have to recognize there's a time and place for everything, and be mindful of our situations, of our circumstances. Sometimes for some people, things looks like it's going well for some of them, and for others, things are not working out well. Yeah. So look, the Queen of Wands is here in reverse, and the Four of Swords they're both in reverse. And I feel like that is essentially, it's reminding us that sometimes with the Queen of Wands, did I say the Queen of Swords? Sorry, the Queen of Wands in reverse is basically someone who can represents more of a selfish person. So upright, I would say it's kind of someone who's a doer, who goes out, goes out and gets what they want. They're very determined. But in reverse, it can be someone who's very arrogant, very selfish, very self-centered. And with with the Four of Swords, the Four of Swords represents like a time of, you need to rest, you need to go and look after yourself, your self-care, your health. But with it being reversed, I feel like it can also represent, next to the Queen of Wands, that kind of, it's almost like it says not care. I'm getting kind of like not caring for others, not really caring about other people's interests in relation to this. And I feel like as a collective, we're very much about love and light energy. We're very much about growth. We're very much about like using tarot, using divination tools, using Jamaican Proverbs as a way to help us, to guide us, to give us intuition, to support our intuition, and also part of like learning for life. Like we're always learning, and we never stop. It's from conception to birth, throughout, from childhood, from childhood to middle adulthood, from young adulthood, middle adulthood, your teenage years. I should have said teenage years first. Hey, but you understand what I'm saying. Throughout the whole process of life, you are constantly learning. We will learn that we have people that come and go in our life. Some people that come just for a season. Some people that are just there to help us learn something. that maybe we have not internalized fully in ourselves, or there's something that we have choose to ignore, things that maybe we don't want to hear, things that we don't want to work on or heal yet. And it finds a way, unfortunately, you know, what we draw our thoughts and our feelings upon, it creates a union. If you're new here, wagwan, okay, wagwan, because that's what we talk about at Wagwan Taranti, that thoughts and feelings become a union, they become a marriage. So we have to be mindful of how we think and how we feel, because when we attach thoughts and feelings together, we create, we attract, you know. We are creators. Whether we like it or not, we are creators. So we have to be mindful of what we do and how we do things, because it can create it can create a massive impact in our life, for maybe not even just for a week or a month, it could even for years to come. Yeah. But back to this, I feel like it's really telling us we have to be mindful of how we are, because not everybody can have the same things as us. So yes, look at the hierophants here. So the hierophant represents the teacher. The teacher, you know, you think of it as like the teacher, the master, the scholar. And I feel like this is what essentially what the lesson in this reading is. Through life, we're going to always have lots of lessons. We're going to have things that we maybe took for granted, or maybe even times where as a child you might have had your elders, your parents, your uncles, maybe your aunts, or so anybody like a trusted adult who would give you like words of wisdom, and you just kind of took it for a joke. You never really took it seriously, and then until you grew, you got older, wiser, you've gone through your own experiences, you recognize certain things, then you realize, oh wow, now I see what they were talking about. At that time, I used to joke around it. I used to think it was like, what are they talking about? But the more they start to talk, you start to realize why. Hey, they're talking sense, you know. I didn't really want to accept what they were saying before, but now it makes sense. And, you know, we have to be mindful of like what we are wealth, what we acquire. I'm gonna just have a quick sip because I can feel my mouth feels a little bit dry, and this message wants to come out. Please make sure you are staying hydrated, because that's what we're all about, you know. We have a nice like chit chatter over tea, and words of wisdom. Yes. All right, let's get back into it. But yes, ultimately here the hierophant wants us is here to remind us, look, we've got to take that time to reflect on things, look at things in life as learning experiences. You know, from each stage of our life, we will always have lots of learning experiences, things that we can look back, things that we can be thankful for, things that we can be mindful of how we come across to others, whether we're coming across selfish or not being thoughtful of somebody else's feelings, that has resulted to them feeling like they do not have a voice, they're not feeling like they're being heard. And again, you know, don't set a hungry duck the task to watch corn. That can lead to, like, you know, temptation, trust issues. You know, whether you can trust this person now because they might be seeing what you have, and you keep bragging about what you have. You keep telling, and again, collective, this might not just from you, it could be someone you're dealing with, but it can result to lots of issues, jealousy, you know, maybe some shady things, to try and work out how they could get what you have, or even from people that you don't know, and you're just putting things constantly on social media, bragging about what you have, bragging about where you're off to next. And sadly, there's been too many stories of people who have bragged about what they have, showing that they are the the king of pentacles, yeah, that they have so much wealth going on in their life that, you know, they didn't even use their common sense in the situation to say, right, let me not go and share that I'm at this place at this particular time. I'm not at this hot location. I'm not. And sadly, it has happened to you many times. But I feel like with the Hierophant being here, it's really reminding us, look, we will constantly get lessons upon lessons upon lessons upon lessons upon lessons. And it's important that we take on these lessons as life experiences. And remember, common sense, as much as it's common sense is not common to everyone. It's always something just to be mindful of that. Not what is common sense to you may not be common sense to somebody else. Just like common sense to me or maybe a fellow person will be that not to not to steal. But you know, for some people, again, with the hermit being here, maybe some people might be struggling, and maybe they have to try and find different ways of how they have to go about it. Again, with the Queen of Wands being reversed, it could be someone who's like now maybe jealous or annoyed with with what someone has, and is thinking, why don't they have it? And that can then result to them trying to see how they can still take, and this can unfold itself in different things. Whether it could be someone who has a relationship, they're in a relationship, and so having someone that is jealous of that, the fact that they found somebody, and can maybe try to see how they can sabotage it, and take that person from them. But honey, if that person was for the taking, then they weren't yours in the first place. Always remember that. Yeah, what's meant for you won't pass you by. Real talk, real talk. Okay, or it can be even like in a job opportunity where you've got this job, but they try to find different ways to sabotage. And you're thinking, hold up a minute, what's going on here? Why are you doing this? You know, why can't I celebrate my wins with you? But again, if you're dealing with somebody who haven't acquired or haven't taken the time, and sometimes, you know what, it's not even the fact that they couldn't do it. It's because maybe, again, with the Queen of Wands being here and reverse, that they were so occupied, they're so preoccupied with watching what's going on in other people's lives. Oh, this person's got that, this person's got that, this person's got this, right? And then it's like, well, what's going on? When you're doing that, what's happening is your business, your dealings, all your life is put on hold, because you're so focused on what other people are doing that you've made that your life career. You've made that your life path journey, and that can't run if you want to then be successful in life, if you want to achieve your own victory, because you're choosing to take the time to focus on other people's business. How are you going to do well? How are you going to achieve? Can I have a card? Let's see what card comes out regarding that message. Is there a mess? Ooh, let's see. Yes, the Eight of Cups in reverse. So your stuff, how are you going to build your stuff? You know, I feel like as well with that coming out. So the Eight of Cups is usually about, you know, moving away from something that doesn't serve you, moving away from things that don't serve you. But I feel like with the Eight of Cups being in reverse, it's like you have to take that time that things are not going to prosper if you're so focused and preoccupied on other people's business, watching constantly what they're doing, and almost trying to replicate what they have rather than finding your own. Why? Wow. Wowzers. Did you hear that message? Spirit is talking here. Hey. But on a serious level, like, you know, we do have to, because again, if you've now taken up upon yourself to say, you know what, I'm recognizing I am changing, I am growing, and you're growing it every day, sis. You are growing every day, bro. Your mindset will change. Your law, your understanding of law of attraction will change, because then you recognize how thoughts and feelings carry power. Yes. So then you recognize that if I'm putting it, so let's say with someone who's focusing their energy constantly on other people, they're impacting their law of attraction, there is off. Their navigation is off. Because when they're attaching their thoughts and their feelings to watching other people. And it could be as well, you're not even wanting to say like, but like people who maybe go on social media and they don't have anything positive to say, or just pessimistic people that you might recognize. It's like you've got something going on, and rather than say something nice and positive and say, oh, well done, it's like they try to find something shady to say, and you're thinking, well, why are they saying this? Or it's people around you that they want to be around you, but then at the same time don't want to celebrate any wins that they have around you. And sadly, there are, put it in the comments wherever you, if you're listening on YouTube, yeah, or if you're on Spotify, like come back on the YouTube, or and just put it in the comments or where you can, and just let us know. But tell us your experiences of this, and if there is anything that you have noticed in your everyday life, or if there's things that you might feel like you're working on and you're trying to do your best at getting where you want, and it's like you ain't asked anybody for anything, in the sense that you've worked for your own. Yet when you've worked for your own, you recognize that there's maybe people around you who don't always win for you, who don't always want to celebrate for you. But at the Wagwan Tarantee Collective, just know we've got you, sis. We got you, bro. And there's nothing wrong with you celebrating. There's nothing wrong with you celebrating your wins. There's nothing wrong with celebrating your growth. But we just have to be mindful that not everybody is at that stage yet. Not everybody is at that level of growth, and that may impact their sight, their foresight on to see through the future, or to see greatness for themselves. Yeah. So it's taking upon that attitude to recognize that, and working with that, and just continue working on yourself, continue growing, continue healing, continue being the King of Pentacles, that you are, the King or the Queen of Pentacles. Just continue doing that, continue to grow, and continue to take the lessons as messages that of growth, and how you can look, and how you can reflect, and how you can grow from these situations. Okay. But also being mindful of like recognizing that we are currently in a environment where, again, what we said, financial markets are all over the place. You might be coming across scammers on social media or different places. Just keeping yourself safe, like keeping yourself safe, protecting, if you are making purchases or anything like that, just be making sure you're going through the correct avenues, as well as like be mindful of how much information you are sharing on social media about your whereabouts and what you're doing and things like that. Just keeping yourself safe, because it's important. All right. It's very important. So let's just go and see if there's any more messages. Just going to have a quick shuffle. Whoa, yes. Six of Swords is here. So the Six of Swords represents like your thoughts are like moving away. So I feel like the thoughts is like moving away into good pastures, good flowing seas. And it's like, I feel like it's also telling me our work has been done here for the podcast today, and that we are taking upon that attitude of looking into oneself and recognizing, not everybody has the same things, and being mindful of that and taking that opportunity to really appreciate what we have. you know, showing gratitude, even if it's just saying, you know, I'm thankful for the wealth that I have in my life. I'm thankful for the money that I have in my bank account. I'm thankful for the friends that I have in my life. I'm thankful for the family that I have in my life. You know, just constantly focusing on what you're thankful for, so that you are, because you're all, it helps you to stay grounded. It helps you to stay appreciative of what you have in your life, and to know that not everybody, unfortunately, is blessed with the same opportunities as you, and just being thankful for what you have, you know. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna leave it here, okay, collective. But make sure you look after yourself. You stay hydrated. You know. Please do come and visit Wagwan Tarot on Tea YouTube channel, where you can access pick a card readings, um, um, further podcasts as well, different messages there if you haven't listened to them already. You can also access the podcast on Spotify as well. We're there as well, okay, as well as other podcast platforms. So look after yourself, feel good, yeah, feel good, look good, and I'll see you on the next one. Wagwan.